All right. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today we're doing Module 5, Lesson 10. So we're continuing with a very similar lesson to yesterday's lesson, which was Lesson 9 on equivalent fractions. We are going to be using division again to show equivalent fractions using area models. So just a reminder, we're showing area models. And let's say we have an area model, maybe something like this. Okay, so I have a total of 8. So you know that my denominator is going to be 8. And let's say I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths are shaded. So I shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths. We're going to show simplest form, or we're going to cut them or divide them into larger pieces. So just like in yesterday's lesson, we noticed that this is the whole. And we can kind of see that the whole was originally cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and 1, 2, 3 of them are shaded. So we're going to write 3/4. Now, if you don't see that, we can start with 6 eighths, and you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to divide by, well, no, we're going to divide by 2 because each of these pieces were cut into 2. So let's divide by 2. All right, so we see that each of these sections was cut into 1, 2 pieces each. So we'll divide by 2. So if you don't see that this is 1, 2, 3 out of a total of 4 pieces, you can divide by 2 because 6 can be divided by 2. You can't divide it by 6 in this case because 8 cannot be divided by 6 and come up with a whole number. 6 won't work, and I'll show you. 6 divided by 6 is 1, but 8 divided by 6 is not a whole number. That won't work. So if you try with 6 and you're like, oh wait, I can't do 8 divided by 6, you can't divide by 6. So instead I'm going to divide by 2 because each of these sections is divided into 2 parts. So I'm dividing by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And so we can see 1, 2, 3 are shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So 3/4 was our simplest form. I'm going to also check it using the butterfly method. 6 eighths equals 3/4. I'm going to cross multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. They're the same number, so these are equivalent. If you came up with something else, if you ended up with like 2/4 or 1/4, and you cross multiply and your numbers are not the same, you're going to know that your answer is not right. It's not correct. They still need to be equivalent. These are equivalent fractions. All right, so now let's do another one so it makes sense. So let me draw another area model. I'm going to draw this one into fifths to start. So 1, 2, 3, here we go, fifths. Okay, so there's my fifths. And let's say I have, I'll cut it into, okay, so now I have 15 pieces. So 3, and then I have 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So I have a total of 15 pieces in my whole. And let's say I have 6 of them shaded. So I have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 15 shaded. But I want my simplest form, or I want to kind of think of it as if I look at these columns here, how many columns are shaded? I see 2 columns shaded out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So I know that I'm probably going to end up with 2/5, but how am I going to get there? So I'm going to start with 6/15. Each of these sections is cut into 3 pieces. So I'm going to divide by 3. See, this is cut into 1, 2, 3. This is cut into 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to divide by 3. So remember, we're dividing by 3. If I just decide to divide by 3, I'm doing it both to numerator and denominator. Okay, so 6 divided by 3 is 2. So you can use your multiplication chart if you don't know. So if I find 6 down the 3s, well, let's see. If I find 6 down the 3 columns, so here we go, 6 down the 3, and I move over, I can see it's 2 because 2 times 3 is 6. 15 divided by 3, I should know what that is. That's 5. But if I don't, I look down the 3s column and I look for 15, and then I go over and it's 5 because 5 times 3 is 15. So I get 2/5. So I can see 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. I want to check and make sure that that is equivalent. So I'm going to do cross multiplication. 15 times 2, if you don't know what that is, you can just say 15 plus 15, it's 30. And then 6 times 5 is also 30. These are the same, so these are equivalent. So if you're not sure what to divide by, look at what each section is cut into. So like this section was cut into 1, 2, 3 pieces, so you can divide by 3. Or if you can kind of notice that the whole is here, and then we draw the column lines first to maybe see what you're looking at. So maybe not draw the horizontal lines to show the rows, just do the columns, then you would be able to say, oh wait, I see 1, 2 columns out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. The other thing you could do is if you look and find 6/15 down the same column, so I need to find 6 and 15. So if I look down 3, I see 6 and 15, and I go all the way over to my ones column, I see it's 2/5. So 6/15 is the same as 2/5, and that's what we ended up with. So if you're a little confused with the area models, you can use your multiplication chart, just like 6/8. When I found 6 and 8 down the same column, here's 6 and 8, and then I move to the ones column, I see 3/4 is my simplest form. So 3/4 is what I ended up with. So your multiplication chart can help you on this if you are confused about, well, how did you get 2/5? I'm not seeing it, or I don't know what to divide by. Let me do one more that might help you if you're not seeing it in the area model. So we're going to do one more. We'll do it in our workbook, actually. So let's take a look at our workbook. Let's take a look at B. So we're going to take a look at, this is page 67. It's lesson 10 in module 5. Let's do B together. So I'm going to first write what I see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces are shaded out of a total of, this is 3, 6, 9, 12 out of 12 pieces. Now, if you don't see what the whole, like you're like, I don't understand how you're getting to the simplest form, I might want to use my multiplication chart first. So I'm going to find 9/12 down the same column. Has to be down the same column. So I don't see 9, I see 12, so this won't work. I see 9 and 12 down the 3 column. That means I could divide by 3. This kind of tells me I could divide by 3. I can move all the way over, and I'm going to end up with 3/4. That's going to be my simplest form, 3/4. This column tells me what I should divide by. So 9/12, I'm going to divide by 3. So 9/12 divided by 3. And if you see, this column was cut into 1, 2, 3 pieces. So that's where I'm getting the dividing by 3 as well. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I end up with 3/4. And you might be able to see it, like here's the whole. I'm going to draw my column lines here. And we see 1, 2, 3 columns out of a total of 4 columns are shaded. And then I'm going to also check it with my cross multiplication. 12 times 3 is 36. 9 times 4 is 36. If they end up being the exact same number, you have an equivalent fraction. I'll explain why this works, how the butterfly method or the cross multiplication works when we meet again tomorrow. I'll explain how this actually works. We're going to do one more together. We'll do D. All right, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shaded out of 2, 4, 6, 8 total. If you don't see what the simplest form is, I'm going to use my multiplication chart. I'm going to find 6 and 8 down the exact same column. I have 6, but I don't have 8. Here's 6 and 8. If I move 6 and 8, I move over to the ones column, I have 3/4. This tells me I'm going to divide by 2 to end up with 3/4. So I know this will be 3/4, 6, 8, and I can see each one of these is cut into 2 pieces. The columns are cut into 2, so I'm going to divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, 8 divided by 2 is 4. And now I'm going to check with my cross multiplication, make sure these are equivalent, because not all fractions are equivalent. 8 times 3 is 24, 6 times 4 is 24, and those check out. All right, so make sure you have all your notes. Make sure you take a picture of your notes, the actual ones you wrote. Very important that you're watching the video so that you have some background information before we work on the rest of the problems the next day. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.